A, this is D, and this is E, and submit. Whew. Man, I'm so glad midterms are over. Oh, what's this? Please don't forget the papers we did tonight at 12,000 words. 1,000 words? Do at 12? What time is it now? 11:30? What up? CJC presents WandA, workouts and anime. There's been a lot that's happened since I've been in school last, which was last December after I graduated. I decided to take the spring semester off, and luckily I did because, well, you know. I actually want to talk about how my experience so far in university is during COVID. I will discuss how assignments are going, comparing it to my experience at community, professors, and how things are and how they are handling the classes. Financials will also be discussed briefly, and things that are outside of school, such as social life, and the very essence of this channel, such as workouts and gaming, anime specifically, and anime. So, I graduated with my associates class December with an associates in science before transferring over to university. I took the spring off just because it made sense for me to start during the calendar year instead of the end, and also to make sure I'm just a little set financially. Most of my classes are online, outside of one class in which I have to go to campus for the lab portion, which meets about twice a month, or once every 2 weeks. Cannot really talk about the campus experience too much compared to community, so I think that'll be saved for a future video. Whenever we can even go back to campus, so who knows when that will be. The overall workload, as expected, is a lot more than community. However, it's not as if most of them aren't doable. Sometimes I will make the conscious decision of just taking the L on an assignment. 4 out of my 5 classes, which will be alluded to later, I'm actually doing well enough to where I can afford to do so. In terms of difficulty, I would say there is a slight increase from the work I'm currently doing. Obviously, I'm sure as I progress further in order to hopefully attain a master's degree, that's the goal, the work's going to get harder. Now, however, since I am speaking about what's in front of me right now, the workload isn't too bad. It's just more tedious work, which I've never been a fan of. The social aspect, well, the interaction with classmates, to be more precise, has been much better. Now, this can be just due to my growth as an individual and being more social. Here in university, the class group chats and personal DMs between me and other classmates, stuff, we can communicate with each other. So there wasn't really much of a social environment during my experience at community. It almost had like a high school vibe to it. I won't say there weren't cliques per se, but people were usually hanging out with people they went to high school with. And so, just to insert myself into a situation, I was just friendly with everyone, and over time I just became more social throughout my years at community. Originally coming into community, which I think is a awful mindset, whether it's community or just college in general, is I only want to do my work. But you're going to learn over time. You can, have your cake and eat it too, really. So I think it's difficult for anyone to learn if the material. I think it's difficult for anyone to learn if the material presented to you is just simply messy. Here, I will discuss how I think my professors have done so far during this fall semester through midterms. For the most part, outside of one, I've been doing a good job, I'd say. One class has to meet 3 times during the semester, and we just get the work, do a midterm and final, which I kind of prefer, to be honest, especially for that class in particular. Just here's the work. I don't think meeting for classes aren't really necessary. That's just my personal opinion. I think it works better for the students. And it's not so much work for the professor throughout that semester. You just pre-record videos during the summer and then put them out throughout the fall. Now, however, that type of teaching might not work for everyone. So in 2 other classes during Zoom, there's more of interactive learning where we can do stuff in like breakout rooms. and so on and so forth. I think something like that is more practical, especially considering my major. Again, the goal is to get a master's, but looking at it right now, my major is nutrition and food science. That would be in the bachelor's, and with a focus in nutrition and wellness. So, of course, as with most majors, there's always that one class that you have to take that's basically on the professions and stuff that you can get with that degree. And then there's this one class. And warning, a rank is incoming. So, look, people, please do not overlook. I'm already stuttering. Please do not overlook professor reviews. You shouldn't have to waste money just to be taught really nothing. That's number one. Number two, if you are not technologically competent, especially during these times, why are you teaching? Why? Students are just wasting their money. And I don't believe transfers or freshman students should have to take a filler class for that semester. You're just wasting money. If you have already been 2 years into that specific university or community and you want to boost your GPA, take a filler. That's fine. But for someone like myself, who's a transfer, and then incoming freshmen who have to suffer, and we need a class like this in order to progress for our degree, this is terrible. And taking these fillers, or just skipping out on that class in general, will also affect financial aid as well. Now, it's bad enough that there are already students who are dorming and having to stay in their dorms just to take a crappy class. Now, let me sidetrack real quick and say I understand some, not all, have issues at home, so please reach out to hotlines that are out there. There are people who are ready to help you, because I understand that some people want to escape from home and that's why they dorm. But again, there are hotlines out there, and if you are under that situation, then please feel free to waste the situation's money. No problem. But again, there are hotlines, and please reach out. So, anyway, back to the rant. And professors, please, there is no actual guarantee that it will be safe to go to campus in the spring. Therefore, please properly prepare for the event that we do have to be home. I understand in New Jersey, they're saying they've done a great job in lowering the cases. New Jersey is where I reside. But again, no student wants to go through what they went through last spring. And I haven't even experienced that. I don't want to, from my understanding from my peers and my friends of what they went through. I don't want to go through that. No one does. So please prepare in the event that we do have to stay home, and not just for hybrid classes or just in-person classes. Please prepare for a full online class as well. And if you expected to teach in person this semester, the semester we're currently in, without truly preparing for online, in the event that it doesn't happen, quite frankly, shame on you. Yeah, I definitely got that off my chest, so let's get into some fun stuff. Alright, so let's start off with my social life. And moving on to fitness. So as of right now, I think I'll have like a picture up on the screen. These are my current splits. So Monday is legs and back. Tuesday, chest and shoulders. Wednesday, I do cardio in the early afternoon, and then I'll do back and bis at night. Thursday is legs, and then Friday, chest and tris, with cardio on Saturday. Now, my preference has always been to work out early, but sometimes with my class schedule, I might have to work out super late, but that's not really an issue. I'm definitely not going to the gym, obviously, during these times. I personally don't believe it's worth the risk. Although for my lower body, I am limited to the weight I have at home, so I do my best to try to compensate for that. So I also use resistance bands when I'm doing a plate squat or I'm doing deadlifts. I do have enough weight to develop upper body, specifically barbells, because I have no dumbbells. I sold them all off. So I'm going to try to hopefully further develop and then my upper body strength. And then once it's truly safe for me to go back to the gym, I have some sort of foundation I can build upon. And also, like, if I have equipment at home, like, why not just use it, you know? So, in terms of nutrition, I've been attempting for a caloric surplus, you know, just to give myself the energy I need for my classes and to do the work. So, once winter break starts, I'm going to be going for a cut, and then I'm going to try to go for not try, but I will go for a surplus again during the spring semester. So, let's try to go talk about the social life. I know I try to get that out of the way at first, but I think it's important to get into. So I still communicate with my friends often. Once in a while we see each other. We might go play basketball. The other day, shout out to Bryce, we'll do workouts and stuff. Like we did like a boxing workout, which was super fun. We sparred a little bit. Definitely got my ass kicked. But the dating scene is super non-existent. Yeah, anyway, in terms of anime and gaming, what have I been watching and playing? To be honest, I haven't picked up any new anime whatsoever. I've only been keeping up with new episodes of One Piece and the new Yu-Gi-Oh show, which has been super fun. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's really good. I've also been keeping up with the One Piece, Boku no Hero, Dragon Ball Super, and Boruto manga chapters as well. Those have been great, although a lot of criticism for the recent chapter of Super, I will say, but it hasn't officially came out yet, so once it does, I'll react to it on my own. Right now, I just really don't have the time to invest into a new show or a show I've finished, but yet again, there'll always be winter break where I can just binge some, so just gonna wait till then. The only game I've really been playing is Persona 3 Portable, and I've been doing that on my phone via an emulator, which has been so much fun. I actually love the game, and once I finish my second playthrough on the P3P, then I'm definitely going to play Persona 4 and Persona 5, which I'm definitely looking forward to because I've always listened to the soundtrack. So to actually hear them in game and experience the stories and stuff, I'm definitely looking forward to that. But the buck does not stop with me, as many others have their own experiences and thoughts to share. So I'm going to read 3 overall feelings and thoughts about their time during this semester and just school in general. So we're actually going to start off with a pretty short one. Shout out to Shaza. So he said, one of my asynchronous classes doesn't meet at a regularly scheduled time. I've even opened up. Gonna do all that last minute too. So overall experience, what the fuck is going on? Classes seem like a to-do list for creds rather than a learning experience. Next story. Thank you, Corey, for sending your thoughts in. So he says, for me, COVID-19 has affected my experience at school negatively in almost every aspect. Usually during the semester, I live in an off-campus apartment sponsored by my school. However, because of the pandemic, my school decided to convert that apartment into quarantine housing for those who catch the virus during the semester and can't live with the rest of the student body. Because of this, housing availability was severely cut short. I was forced to move back home, impacting my independence, which was a major achievement in my life. Aside from housing, talking about school itself, it has become increasingly hard to stay motivated to do work on time when there is no physical requirement to pay attention. I simply turn on my computer and go do something else. This has made it so that now I have to try extra hard, to understand the concepts, especially because the professor can't see confusion on my face. Which, I agree. That's me in my one class. Yeah. Which was usually a huge help in getting the professor to explain something in terms I could understand. Along with the concept of virtual schooling comes a disconnect from classmates. It's not easy or even possible to lean over and ask someone what we are doing or how the professor got an answer without deterring from the class time. Lastly, socially, COVID during school has been the hardest, as none of my time is spent on campus and most events are canceled or held with serious restriction. The events don't hold the same importance or energy that they used to, and I'm still a part of certain clubs for the title, but the clubs may as well be non-existent now. And I kind of have to agree to that. I'm part of one club, and it's just not engaging. It's just more informational, and I just feel as if that club in particular is more of like an extra cred course, if that makes sense. So I understand where Corey's coming from 100%. And then to finish off what he had to say, many of the places where people used to congregate are empty or locked as well, so campus has become a necessary academics only environment, which is pretty boring. And again, 100% agree. Corey, thank you so much for sending in your thoughts. All right, so to finish it up, we have some thoughts from Dan on his just overall experience at his college. So thank you, Dan. You guys have seen Dan on the channel before, but not seen him technically. I guess heard him. Yeah. So thank you, Dan, for sending your thoughts. So he said, I personally chose his school. I won't say school because I just don't think it's necessary, because I wanted to pursue a career in computer science and I wanted money and to be rich. Fair. His school is great for tech, and it's a tech school, but switched majors as soon as he realized how time-consuming the coding assignments were. One coding assignment would take me several days, and one problem on the assignment would take me hours. Okay, I understand. I'm not a computer science major, so I can't really put my 2 cents in it. So I'm just gonna continue reading. Yeah. The more I did these coding assignments, the more I realized I don't want to spend most of my time behind a computer sacrificing my life in university. Other people were better and faster at coding, and people seem to love it, but it's just not for me. I switched to information tech, and it was less work intensive in my opinion, and I enjoyed more. And that's the thing though, in just life in general, you're never going to find your niche right away. And I think that's a big thing that's pushed upon you in high school, where they want you to push like a goal or something, and you might feel peer pressure to find something that you want to do because some of your other classmates already have a future ahead of them, whether it's through mommy and daddy money, mommy and daddy money. We all know those kids. And then there's those who are driven by ambition, and then there's some people who just they want to do something, but they don't know. Do they want to do it for money? Do they want to do it for, because they love something? And you'll eventually find that you want to do something that you love. And that's why I've decided to pursue a career in nutrition, because it contains all the aspects of what I love. There's science, math, and of course how it affects fitness as well. So Dan's doing something that he enjoys, and good for him, man. So let's continue with his overall thoughts when he talks about professors. Honestly, the only good professors are the math professors in his experience. They take it seriously and they're willing to actually teach students. They will help you with assignments, and all my math professors were great at teaching. But my other professors in tech were garbage. I had to teach myself how to code in those classes. The professors also did not know how to teach. They read off slides and are hard to understand because some of them have thick accents. Now, accents are really tough. Really tough. I had a bad experience in my community college in my science class where no one in that class understood her. Crazy. It was crazy. But I also understand where Dan's coming from when it comes to professors just reading off the slides. Again, this one class I'm taking in university right now is the same thing. So, and no one in that class is understanding it. So, yeah, professors, do better. Come on, do better. Now, Dan's social life at school says it's pretty good. You'd be surprised because you'd think it's just a socially awkward school with computer geeks who have no social skills. Dan, don't snitch on yourself like that. No, I'm kidding. Continuing with his statement here on the social life of the school. But the truth is that we have one of the better parties compared to other nearby schools. Campus life is pretty lively, and there's usually something crazy going on. Dan, thank you so much for your thoughts, man. Appreciate it. And that's it. That brings us to the end of today's video. Let me know what your thoughts are on your experience in school in general, or more specifically during times of COVID, whether it's spring or currently this semester. And I love to read them in the comment section below. So I'll see you there and in the next video. Peace.